Hello everyone and welcome. This is a quick overview video for exercise 3B. Again, I'm not going to go through quite everything, but at least go through some of the different steps to give you an idea of how to follow along. This particular activity is really neat because now we're going to really start to look at our data sets and how we can do different things to our data sets to really make different queries and patterns appear. This is a little bit of a longer activity. You can save and come back if you need to. Just make sure that you're always keeping track and always clicking on that save button. In fact, I recommend as you go along that you save frequently, whether the instructions are asking you to or not. And also always remember you unzipped this initial GKPro file. So you do have that original zip file. And if you really get somewhere you don't know, you can always go back and open up a new copy of the file. It does mean starting over, but sometimes that's a little bit easier than trying to dig out depending on what may have happened to your file. All right, so you're going to want to open up your health study. So again, we have our Illinois. Mine's here in green. The textbook is orange. Yours might be a different color. And now we're going to look at that obesity database that we have. So you go back, you can right click on it, you can choose open. And again, as I've mentioned, it's always a good idea to look around so that you can see. We're going to focus on this FIPS code column. Okay. So again, you're going to scroll to the right to view all the fields and get a feel. There's quite a bit of information here. And then as mentioned, we're going to take a look at this FIPS code, and that same variable, that same field is in the other table. That is important when you're joining. You need to have some column that is the same between both, because this is how we link entries up. So we're going to go ahead in the contents panel, step 5, and select the, let me just go ahead and close this. We're going to select the Illinois County, and then it says on the data tab, click the join button and click add join. Okay, so again, we go up here, data tab, we click, excuse me, the joins and add join. And then this is the little window that will pop up. Okay. So again, and they call it the geoprocessing pane. That's just this little window here that's popping up. Oops, sorry about that. All right. So for the input join field, okay, we want that FIPS code because again, that's what we're linking. For the join table, we're doing the obesity, and for the join table field, again, we're centering on the FIPS. You'll notice that it mentions this little triangle appears. It's because it's not indexed. For right now, we're not going to worry about that. There is an on your own that you can do, but if you're going to do the on your own, you want to do that separately, and there's a little bit more that goes to this. So again, I wouldn't worry about indexing it for right now. We'll go again to that later on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run the add join tool. So we'll come here. So I've got my input table. Let me go back up here. Again, we're going to, we want that FIPS code. Notice it's got the obesity. If you had more tables here, you'd have to pick which one. And again, we've got that FIPS code we want to keep. But don't worry, like I said, about these right now. Okay. So now we're going to run it, and then we'll open up the attribute table for the Illinois County to see the results. Okay. I'm going to run it. Now I'm going to open this up. Click on that attribute table. And now you should see you have everything here. See how it goes over, and now it looks like we're starting over. Okay, so we've got the county information, and we've got the obesity information in here, all in one place. Okay. And you'll see it, you'll notice it tells you in parentheses where what is coming from. So now I've closed. So again, that's joining. So now let's start to work with our symbols. Okay, now we're going to start to work with some different ways we can display this data. We're going to use graduated colors. Sometimes you may hear the term a choropleth map. These are maps that instead of having points of data, they have regions or area that are colored, and each color represents something. You see this a lot with like weather maps when they're displaying temperature ranges and things like that. All right, so again, we're going to notice this mentions on the appearance tab, click the symbology buttons down arrow, and also as we're doing this, make sure that you still have your county checked. So if we come back here, remember we don't have that, I don't have that appearance tab. It's called the feature layer. Okay, and we're going to click on symbology, and we're going to choose graduated colors. Okay, and so then my little symbology, and again, I don't know why, this is kind of small, so I'm going to just move this out. You can point right here and drag this out just so I can see everything I'm doing. Okay, because this is kind of what we want to see. Now, again, after you do this, you'll notice mine did come up. If yours comes up to a slightly different color regime, you can always change it, okay? But here we're going to go ahead and, we're going to kind of make sure that we're telling ArcGIS what values we want for the different colors, because they're going to represent, like I said, kind of a range. Okay, so in the symbology pane, click the field down arrow and select %4. Right. So we'll come over here and, when I went back, it turned it off. Let me turn that back on. All right. So here in the field, we want %4. Okay. And from there, you'll notice that it chooses natural breaks. There are differences. And again, I have the digital version, so I can click on this. You want to learn what some of these different types are, because it has to do with how the data is displayed. A lot of what we're doing right now is just introducing you to the basics. But each of these different classification methods are very important depending on what you're trying to map. What is it you're trying to see? And a lot of people who go further into GIS, a lot of time is spent on really understanding what these different types of categories are, what the statistics are behind them, when you would apply one and then the other. All right. So for now, we're going to create our own categories for every year for which we have data. And to do that, we've got to make sure that everything's broken into the same area. Okay, so now we're going to work with the classes. We're going to change it, and then we're going to make the bottom 135 and then scale up accordingly. So let me just show you a little bit how to do this, and I'll kind of jump ahead. Again, I got to reopen up my symbology here. So we want 4 classes. I scrolled up. If you don't see the 4 right away, just scroll up. We want that red hot here color scheme. And then I just double click on that bottom number and put in my 35.0 and press enter. Okay. And then again, as mentioned here, you're going to now change the other 3 symbols to 31 right above, 27 and 23. Okay, so once I have that done, here I have renamed my labels, I have my values, and you can see there's nothing from the upper, but we can see our few. Okay,